This happened about 10 years ago. My childhood was spent in a small but strangely unsettling house. For most of those years, I shared a bedroom with my older brother. The room had two twin beds, one for me, one for him. It wasn't very spacious, but for us, it was the safest place in the world. Or so we thought. That night began like any other. We had dinner, played around for a while, then climbed into our beds. The lights were switched off and only the pale glow of the moon slipped through the window, casting faint shadows on the walls. Everything felt calm, but that calm didn't last long. Just as I was about to drift into sleep, a strange feeling washed over me. It was as if someone was watching us. I couldn't see anything in the dark, but my heartbeat quickened. I pulled the blanket over my head and told myself it was only my imagination. And then, from the corner of the room, I heard footsteps. Slow, bare feet pressing against the floor. My ears sharpened, my breathing stopped. The sound drew closer and closer until it stopped right beside my bed. I forced myself to peek out from under the blanket. Nothing. The room was empty. My brother was still asleep, unaware of anything. I tried convincing myself again. It had to be my mind playing tricks. But then came another sound. Breathing. Heavy, deep, and cold. It felt like someone was standing right above me, exhaling onto my face. My body froze. My voice was trapped in my throat. Finally, I gathered courage and whispered, "Brother." He stirred and muttered sleepily, "What is it? Why aren't you asleep?" My voice trembled. "Someone's here. Someone's in our room." He laughed softly, rolling over. "You're crazy. Go to sleep. There's nothing here." His words gave me a fleeting comfort, but my heart still raced. And then, a loud knock rattled the window. We both shot up from our beds. The noise was so sharp and sudden that our bodies trembled. I scrambled to turn on the light and rushed to the window. Outside was nothing but darkness. No figure, no shadow, no one at all. Only silence. We exchanged terrified glances. For the first time, I saw the same fear reflected in my brother's eyes. It wasn't just my imagination. Something was in our room, and it wanted us to know it was there. After the knock on the window, sleep had completely vanished from our eyes. The silence of the room now felt heavy, suffocating. Even though the light was still on, the atmosphere had turned cold and unsettling. My brother closed the window and sat back down on his bed. He looked at me and said, "It was just the wind, nothing more." But I knew it couldn't have been the wind. The knock was too sharp, too deliberate, like a fist pounding against glass. My chest tightened, and unease settled deep within me. I whispered, "We should tell Mom and Dad." But he quickly cut me off. "Are you crazy? If we wake them up at this hour, they'll scold us. Just sleep. There's nothing here." I stayed quiet, but I couldn't close my eyes. My gaze kept darting around the room, the corners, the window, the shadows. And then suddenly, the light flickered and went out. The room was swallowed by pitch-black darkness. We both screamed at once. My brother scrambled to the switch, flipping it over and over, but the bulb refused to turn back on. Then we heard it, a faint rustling sound right in the middle of the room, as if something heavy was being dragged across the floor. Our bodies stiffened with fear. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw it, a shadow creeping along the wall. At first, I thought it was a trick of my mind, but then my brother whispered, his voice shaking, "Look, do you see that?" The shadow slithered unnaturally, stretching, twisting, bending in ways no human body could. It crawled toward us, closer and closer. I yanked the blanket over my face, but my brother found the courage to shout, "Who's there? Show yourself." His voice echoed in the room. For a moment, silence. Then, suddenly, a piercing scream erupted, one that didn't sound human at all. The sound rattled every bone in my body. My brother grabbed my hand and yelled, "We have to get out of this room, now." We bolted toward the door. He grabbed the handle but froze. It was ice cold, like gripping solid frost. He twisted it with all his strength, but the door wouldn't budge. It was sealed tight, as if something on the other side was holding it shut. We were trapped. The darkness pressed in closer. The shadow on the wall crept toward us, and for the first time, I knew we weren't alone. The door wouldn't open. No matter how hard we pulled, it was as if it had become part of the wall itself. We were trapped. Behind us, the shadow slithered along the wall, inching closer with every passing second. Its movements were unnatural, sometimes tall and stretched, sometimes hunched and twisted, sometimes crawling like it had too many limbs. My throat tightened. My chest burned. The terror was so real that I couldn't even scream. My brother's trembling voice broke the silence. "The window. We'll climb out through the window." We rushed toward it, banging on the glass with our fists. But no matter how hard we hit, the glass refused to break. It didn't even crack. It was like we were striking steel. Then, a sudden chill swept through the room. The shadow thickened, growing darker, until it dropped from the wall and landed on the floor with a thud. Slowly, it began to take form. A figure emerged, human-shaped, but wrong. Its face was nothing but emptiness. No eyes, no mouth, no features at all. Just a void. My legs trembled violently. My brother instinctively stepped in front of me, shielding me from the faceless being. It crouched low, dragging its fingers across the floor, and then lifted something up. When I saw it, my stomach dropped. It was an old rusted toy, the very same toy we had lost years ago. I whispered to my brother, It knows us." The faceless figure dropped the toy onto the ground between us and slowly retreated. But as it stepped back, voices filled the room, whispers from every corner, children laughing, a woman groaning, someone crying. Our heads spun. This wasn't just one presence. There were many. My brother squeezed my shoulder and shouted, "We have to say something, pray, anything, or this thing will kill us." Through my chattering teeth, I began reciting the same words our mother used to make us repeat before bed. My brother joined in. As the words filled the air, the figure recoiled, screeching. But its scream was so loud, so guttural, that the walls seemed to shake. And then, someone banged violently on the door from the other side, over and over, like something or someone was trying to break in. Wait for next video.